Hey guys, it's Ryan here with Hobbies Man. Once again, and today we're going to be doing another first impressions review. Today we're going to be looking at manhwa. It's called The Remarried Empress. This is volume 1. It's the novel that this is based on is written by Alpha Tarts. The adaptation of this from novel to comic was done by Heerly, and the art in this was actually done by someone called Sumpul, Sumpul. And this is published by Iza Press, as you guys can see right there here on the side. This is what this book looks like. And the demographic here is teen, according to the back of the book. And yeah, I guess that's correct. I don't really have a differing opinion there, I guess. But I would usually consider stuff like this to be more on the adult side of things. But I mean, that might be me being like you know, what I know of as like historical romance novels to be here in the States. It might not be the same in Asia, right? So yeah, the genres here are historical fantasy, romance, and Russian fiction. Maybe it has that kind of vibe. Like these characters seem like they're based on like Catherine the Great type characters, right? Or Katerina the First or whatever, like kind of that kind of vibe. It's not actually based on any of that. There's no references to real life, you know, history. This is a completely fantastical second world, but it does have that kind of like vibe, right? Which is kind of hard to articulate. So I'll leave it there. So this wouldn't really be a Regency romance, nor would it be Elizabethan. I think it's actually kind of more in line with like a Stuart romance, which is pretty meaningless to most people, honestly. And I would probably say that most people just call them Elizabethan or, you know, Victorian romances or Regency romances, right? Like a Regency romance is it's like Bridgerton, and the other one I mentioned would be like from much before that, right? So I don't know. It's in the same vein as like Requiem of a Rose King, if that makes sense. And in terms of adaptations, I'm not really sure that it has one. If it's popular enough to make it to the US, it probably does have an adaptation of some sort in Korea, but I am not aware of it. So I'm gonna go with not sure. In terms of the premise here, basically, there's these two characters, Navir, who is the queen, and Soveshu, who is the king or the emperor. And they are childhood friends. They grew up, they decided to marry each other, and they've been living a relatively happy platonic relationship together for a while. However, one day while the empress is gone, a girl shows up, or a girl ends up coming to the palace through a kind of odd process that I'm not quite sure of. I think the king, the emperor, finds her somewhere, realizes that it's his fault she's injured, and takes her in. And because he's an idiot, he is besotted with this girl, who we all know is clearly kind of evil, or at least, you know, bad. And he starts preferring her over Navir. And in theory, this is not really a problem for Navir. She doesn't care. The problem, the actual problem, the objective problem here is that the king is breaking the rules of propriety to, you know, give Risha, I think is her name, preferential treatment, that it goes counter to what should be happening for, like, normally, right? And so this is actually making Navir look bad. It actually escalates to the point where they decide to divorce. And so they do. At least that's what we see in the first chapter. And we get introduced to this other character who is going to be Navir's new husband, who happens to be the king of, or actually the prince of the rival kingdom. And so that's kind of the setup there. And that's basically what is included in this book. However, the order of operations is actually quite different. The book starts with the divorce. And then we go back in time to see how this came up. And in general, I really liked it. I thought it was good. I had a lot of fun reading it. I like the art style. It's very attractive, very pretty. I like the colors a lot. I like the character designs. That's Risha, and the other one was Navir. And, there's some eye candy for women if they're interested as well. I don't know. I like it. I think it's fun. There's some funny bits here. Some chibi stuff right there. I liked it. I thought it was good. It's not necessarily my favorite story. I'm not going to rush to get the next volume. But if I find it, I will get it, right? It's kind of one of those. Like, if I find it for a good price, as in less than $20, which is the cover price, I'll probably get it. I got this first one for $16, and I usually see copies of this somewhere, at one of the grocery stores I go to, for about $16 as well. So I might get the second volume next time, right? But I'm not sure. I'm not in a rush to get more. I just don't really want to get rid of this just yet. So those are my thoughts on that. There really isn't too much interesting to say. Honestly, it is a pretty simple story so far. There really isn't anything too crazy. Mostly you're kind of just like upset at the king or the emperor for being kind of a dumbass. And for kind of like not being understanding, because like the conflict, although understandable in a sense, like it is something that you would expect kings and queens to have problems with. The king is very irrational and very unwilling to listen to Navir at all, which maybe implies that there's some magical, situation going on here. Like maybe he's been bewitched or something, because you would assume that if, they've been friends forever, he would listen to her, right? But it doesn't seem to be the case. And so it is frustrating in that sense, but that kind of adds to the allure of the story, right? So, yeah, those are my thoughts on The Remarried Empress. I really love this cover. I think it looks great. And I'll probably end up getting this for my sister. I think she would probably enjoy it more than I, since she likes Bridgerton, right? So I'll probably end up getting some copies of this for my sister or maybe some of her friends. I'm not really sure, but it's pretty good. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought, and thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.